matter how active you are, whether you're running around the block or lifting weights in your basement, it's important to stretch to get the most out of your movement. Andrew Blaze is the co-founder and head coach here at the Form Lab in Portland, and he's going to show us a few basic stretches that we can incorporate into our daily lives. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. So today we're going to be kind of talking about more dynamic movements to kind of get the body warmed up, get the muscles firing, get ready to go.
Okay, so a little bit more than stretching side to side.
A little bit more than just your typical hamstring glute stretches.
Okay.
When talking about dynamically warming up, it's important to know that you're warming your body up for the activity you're asking your body to do.
Okay.
So there's obviously more specific movements to be warming up for specific activities. If I'm deadlifting, I'm going to be more focused on warming up my hamstrings and my glutes, lengthening out my muscles in the posterior chain of my leg. But for just like overall functional fitness, getting ready for activity, I'm going to show you 3 good movements today, dynamic movements that are going to get a lot of things firing up and ready to go. Okay.
All right,
so
where do you want me to start?
I'm going to have you start right here on the mat.
Okay.
All right. So the way you're going to start, you're just going to start in a kneeling position. You're going to bring one foot forward, so into a half kneel, half lunge position. Both hands are going to go right down on the floor.
Okay.
And then you're going to take your opposite side. So this is my lead side here. I'm going to take my opposite side and I'm going to rotate and reach for the ceiling. Yep. Reach as high as you can, getting that stretch through the obliques here in the core, getting that thoracic extension in the spine, and then we're going to rotate back towards the center.
Okay.
And you're going to do that about 4 to 5 more times here.
Okay.
Each time you're trying to reach just a little bit further, putting some pressure on the inside elbow against the knee to open up your adductors, open up that hip complex a little bit, and get deeper into that stretch. So we're stretching out several things going on here.
That holds you steady too, leaning into your knees.
It holds you steady, yes.
Good to know.
So when you're doing something like, this is called the world's greatest stretch. When you're doing something like the world's greatest stretch, it's important to just take your time, try to get as much range and extension through the muscles, through the spine. In every rep, you're trying to just progress a little bit further and further.
Okay.
Doing them for like 5 to 10 reps is ideal, and then for multiple sets. So you do them a couple times through. Obviously, you would do the other side before you move on.
Move it to the next one. So what's the next one that we're going to do?
The next one is going to be a dead bug. So for dead bugs.
Not a dead Sam, guys, a dead bug.
For dead bugs, you're going to lay flat on your back here. You're going to bring your knees right up towards the ceiling, stacking them over your hips. You're also going to bring your hands straight up over your shoulder joint.
Okay.
And then from here, you're going to extend one leg and raise your opposite arm. As you're going through that, you're going to feel your low back will want to lift off the floor because that's your natural arch. So you're going to really engage your core, trying to push your belly button down into the floor before you come back to neutral. So you're trying to have a nice flush back all along the floor line. With here, we're engaging the core, warming up the trunk. We're also getting length through the hip flexor, which is a muscle that's tight on a lot of people from either sitting at their desk or just not getting that full extension through the leg very often in our day-to-day movements. And then you're getting a lot of motion through the backside of the shoulder capsule as well. So again, desk workers that are forward here, they have a hard time with a movement like this, getting that arm to stack straight up over the shoulder. So this is warming up the hips, it's warming up the shoulder joint, and it's also getting that activation through the core muscles, which are super important muscles when you're going into pretty much any activity.
Okay, well, let's survive that one. What's the last one you got for us?
The last one's gonna be a tough one I got for you, all right? So the last one's gonna be something called a bear crawl. And this, again, this is where we're gonna get the muscles actually really firing and warmed up. So with this movement, you're gonna get into a tabletop position. Again, stacking the knees right underneath the hips, stacking the hands underneath the shoulders. Before we even move through this motion, we're trying to get engagement throughout the torso before we start our first rep. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a big belly breath. Then I'm gonna engage my core. That's gonna put a slight little round in the back, but rounding the spine here is okay and safe because we don't have weight trying to compress the spine together. So a slight little round, and then I'm just gonna barely hover my knees off the floor. The important thing to think about with this movement is keeping the back nice and flat, keeping the hips nice and square to the floor. From there, you're gonna go opposite hand, opposite foot forward, and you're just gonna take 3 steps walking out in front of you. It sounds a lot worse than it is. So you're gonna be here, big belly breath, engage the core, hover the knees, and then we're gonna step the right hand forward, left foot forward, keeping that little slight elevation with the knee off the floor, keeping that back nice and flat, keeping those hips nice and
Oh gosh,
square.
I forgot. Oh God. Oh, I'm on my side.
So after about 3 steps with each leg forward, I would do the same thing and take 3 steps backwards. So you're gonna be going in the same motion, but it's just gonna be in that reverse order. So as I go forward here, it's forward there. When I go back, I'm just pushing that floor away as I step back, okay?
I promise it's not that hard. I am just technically challenged. That is all that is happening right now.
But you're gonna feel a lot going on here. You're gonna feel nice and warmed up.
Yeah,
and ready for your activity.
It's all over the body, so we love that.
Excellent.
All right, thanks so much for showing us how to do this. And
Of
if you
course.
want to see the steps for yourself, just head to the 207 section of our website and app. I should say stretches, not the steps. But anyway, stay with us. 207 is back right after this.